Efraim will give a 5-10 minute précis on all the rolling things that are happening now in Israel, with Iran, with Egypt, with Syria, especially with Lebanon. Everything is interconnected, interdependent. Maybe we'll start that way. Efraim can speak for 5 or 10 minutes. And then you'll ask whatever questions you'd like. The last thing I'd like to say is, and I know it may sound like a cliche, but we're very, very, very grateful that Efraim is here with us. But even more than that, I thank God that Efraim is one of us, because the stuff that we read and write about, But the stuff that we read and write about, Efraim is at the heart of almost all the decisions. And the BESA Center especially is connected with the security establishment and people, the code languages at the highest decision-making levels in Israel. And it's important that we feel, to the extent that we can feel secure about a Jewish future, we feel that way because people like Efraim are helping to advise and mold those decisions. So thank you very much for being here. And 5 or 10 minutes, just put people at ease about the Jewish future, and then they'll ask you questions.
Yeah, in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I may decide to hire you as my PR.
Yeah, right.
Second, from the very beginning, you should know that we live by miracles.
Yeah.
But there is faith. I'll say a few words about the strategic environment. I think what we see around us is a lot of uncertainty. What we've seen before, the part of the old order is still there, but the old order is under great stress. And if there are changes, the changes are not necessarily for the better. What we see, the Arab Spring is basically greater Islamization and fragmentation of the Arab state. In a nutshell, they become weaker. Our enemies become weaker because they have to deal with domestic problems. They cannot deal with a strong state such as Israel. In this respect, those are good news. However, is happening is that as a result of the fragmentation of the state, of losing the grip over the state by the current elites, we may see greater chances for terrorism. They have greater freedom of action. We see it obviously in Sinai, for example. We see Somalization of the Sinai. And also, the terrorists may have greater access to weapons because the countries lose control over the military arsenals. We see Libya disintegrating and part of the arsenal moving to Gaza. We are afraid that similar things will happen in Syria. Missiles, even weapons of chemical weapons. So this is the type of environment we have around us. In the Mediterranean, there is greater threats. The Mediterranean is important because over 90% of our foreign trade is going through the Mediterranean. And we see maybe an Islamic lake there. Take a look at the map. It's Tunisia, Islamist, Egyptian Islamist, Sinai, Somalia, Gaza, Hamas, Israel, a Jewish state. North of us is Hezbollah, running Lebanon, Syria further north. If Assad stays, it's a Russian ally. If he doesn't stay, it will become an Islamist state, and this is what the Turks want and others. Turkey is bad news. It's an important country which has distanced itself from the West and pursues radical policies. They control part of Cyprus, and for them is a walk to take over all Cyprus. And of course, the important thing is that it's not only access, it's also energy. We found largely a lot of gas in the Mediterranean. The Cypriots did as well. And the Turks want a part of it, not only because of the money, but because of strategic reasons. They want to be an energy bridge from the east to the west. They want Europeans to be dependent upon them. And we see now a mixture of neo-Ottomanism and Islamist impulses in Turkey. Of course, the real bad news are Iran. Iran gained another year to develop its nuclear weapons. And despite the fact that the Israelis were very successful in putting Iran back on the agenda, on the international agenda, but what we see is additional procrastination on part of the West. The Iranians are very good at negotiating. You know, the bazaars of Tehran are good schools for them. And so now they meet in May, at the end of the May, in Baghdad, of all places. Baghdad is an Iranian protectorate. And for Israel, the hours of decision becomes closer. I think there is great consensus in Israel that Iran is a grave threat. Some call it existential, some refrain from using this term. We don't have a very coordinated voice coming out from Israel nowadays. But still, the debate is not whether Iran is a threat or not. The debate is whether this is the right time to attack Iran or to rely on covert operations. I think this is basically the debate, not whether they can be convinced by diplomacy or by sanctions that they will stop the nuclear program.
Which American administration, in your view, is a really strong one for Israel?
I think Reagan, Bush. Oh, in '91, when Baker came to the Middle East, he was feared. And he said to the Arabs, come to Madrid. And they came, they reported. He was a formidable person. In the Middle East, the best political currency is fear, not love. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm also a bit romantic, but still, the reality of life. So they were strong, were feared, understood, the instruments of power, spoke less about soft power, and they carried a big stick. So this administration is retreating from the Middle East.